Hi, this is Laurie Letzo. I am your Biz Insight guide for QuickBooks Online. All right, today I am here to help you finish up Accounts Payable, part 2 of our two-part series here. So we want to pick up where we left off with our expenses for our business, okay? So that's our Accounts Payable, right? Things that we have to pay out. And that is over here. I'll bring you over to my screen. Let me minimize this. Okay. And sharing my screen here on the sample company and advertising agency. And okay, so we can see here we're focusing on expenses for our business. All right. So if we come to vendors, we covered this in our first part series, and we can type in our vendor, books by Bessie right here. Okay, and we can see that we've entered a purchase order, a bill, and then a bill payment check where we actually paid it. Okay, so we can also see the vendor details in here. Now I just want to cover that a little bit. We're going to go in here, we're going to edit it. QuickBooks allows you to do on-the-fly editing. So when you're in the process of entering a transaction, if you don't have time to enter the contact record for your vendor, you can go ahead and enter it later, when you have the time. So here's where you would enter the information in the website, and it's very important to have the email too. So if you do send things like purchase orders, you can also email it directly from your QuickBooks. This is an important feature. You can track your payments for 1099s, and you can put their tax ID number in there. So that's anybody that gets $600 or more. You pay individuals. That is required, okay? And then your tax accountant would be looking for that information. Okay, great. So we are going to save that record, and just know that you can come back in here and add additional information, okay? So that's the transaction list, and that's the vendor record. Okay, so let's go into expenses, all right? This is also found here under our Create menu, Create, and we're going to focus here in this column of vendors. So this is expenses for our business, all right? So when we create an expense, we showed you in part 1 that expenses are basically used for you can use this for anything, basically, but you're recording it in one transaction. So you do not need to go in to enter bill, pay bill. You would just go expense, one item here. In other words, it's already done. You've already you would put the check number in here. So we're going to do something here. We're going to say we paid this telephone bill. Okay. And we got this bill and we paid it, and this time we paid it from our checking account. Okay, and we're going to code it to telephone. Okay, and in this field the reference number would actually be the check number. Okay, so we wrote a manual check, and we're going to put down the check, and this is how we get that recorded. Okay, so it goes into our QuickBooks. Perfect. All right, another example of expense we showed you in the first part was if you're recording a transaction that was paid from your Visa card. Again, you don't have to go enter bill, pay bill. You would just record everything here. And in this instance, it's showing the last, it's doing a pre-fill, so it's showing the last transaction that was recorded for American Airlines, and that we're going to change over here. Actually, no, we don't need to do that. All right, so let's move on. We are going to move on here. All right, so now we've got expenses. So we talked about that. A check is if you just write a check to your insurance company, and now there's a bill here. So if you write a check and you don't follow the workflow process of enter bill, pay bill, that's going to really cause a problem, and your books are going to get all yucky and mucky because they won't make sense. Okay, so it's enter bill, pay bill. Now, if you write a check directly without receiving a bill, or the boss brings you, hey, I wrote these manual checks while you were out of the office, I had to get this paid. Okay, then this is how you handle it. So it tells you that there was a bill added. Okay, so while you were away, somebody wrote a check, and now you've got to record it. So you want to put the bill in here, so you're going to add it. Okay, and since it was a manual check, you're going to go in there and put the manual check number. Okay, 72. If the check hadn't been written, then you would actually print it later. Okay, so for this example, we're going to leave it like that. Save. Okay. Check. And we are going to pay healthcare. Okay, and in this instance, we're going to print the check later. I'm going to put the amount in there. Okay, so in this case, what we've done is, again, important thing to remember is you either do enter bill, pay bill, or you do write check. Write check is the equivalent of enter bill, pay bill in one fell swoop transaction. Okay, so that's really clear to understand that workflow process. All right, so we'll save it and close it. Great, so now we're going to move on here, and we've covered these items. All right, now there's going to be a vendor, okay, a vendor credit comes up. Let's pull up one of our vendors. Okay. Great. So for this particular vendor, we had some damage to the equipment that we rented, and so they needed to credit us back. All right. So we've got equipment rental, and we are getting credited back for that damage. Okay, and we want to say credit, and then typically they would give us a return authorization number, so we would put that in here, and save and close. Okay, so then next time we go to pay that vendor, we have a choice, and I will show you that. Okay, hold on, let me back up here just a minute. We're going to go back to our vendor credit, which is here. Okay, make sure we got everything set up right. Good. All right, so we're going to close that. And then we're going to add a credit card credit. And this is a credit that we received on our credit card. And there would probably be an authorization from our credit card company as well. Okay, so we have pretty much completed everything in this column for vendors. Print checks is there for when you're printing batch checks. And okay, so that's good. We will continue our QBO basic overview, and we're going to explore reports on our next episode. Okay, so stay tuned to us. And let me get us back over here. All right, so this is Laurie Letzo. I'm your Biz Insight guide, and stay tuned to the next episode. We'll see you soon.